When I was a kid, growing up in Brooklyn, I'd say to my father, who was a blue-collar kind of guy, "Dad, when I grow up, I want to be an artist or a filmmaker." And my dad would always say, "Neil, you're such a meshuggener." For the uninitiated, meshuggener is the Yiddish word for a crazy person, a fool, a nutcase. If my father were alive today, and if he saw some of these epic-scale artsy things that I create, I'm sure he'd say, "Aha! Just as I told you, Neil, you're a meshuggener for sure." Now, I admit that it's a little crazy to create things that you can't possibly hope to have displayed in its entirety. My great pattern scrolls are a perfect example. I've assembled 2 of these huge scrolls so far, and they're each at least 100 feet long, maybe 200 feet. I can't count that high. I do know that every so often I attempt to unroll these paper scrolls to give them a chance to see the light and to touch the air. Sometimes I do this outside in a big field on a dry, calm day. It has to be dry and calm because, you see, they're made out of paper. And the trouble is, I don't have a field near my home that's big enough. Then one day I decided to unroll them in the vast indoor office space where I was working at the time. I had a bit of luck here, but this particular scroll, which is made out of diagonal patterns, was simply too long because I had to stop at a certain point here. The carpet up ahead was wet from a roof leak. Now, I had better luck with this scroll, which is a much more subtle one. This one consists of square pattern designs, each one about 2 inches by 2 inches. This one actually fit in the space. As you walk closer to my scrolls, the pixelated fields reveal the finer details of each pattern. Sometimes I plan them so that the differentiation between the sections is more subtle. And sometimes they violently contrast with each other. And when you realize that these scrolls are made from hand-trimmed sheets of paper that each measure about 16 inches by 10 inches, and that they are taped together, you may agree with my father. I'm a total meshuggener. My God, what was I thinking? Well, I wasn't thinking that I'd easily find a gallery or venue, indoor or outdoor, that could accommodate an entire unrolled great pattern scroll. That's why I've also designed them so that they could be displayed in a much smaller and realistic space. Now, suppose you only have, say, 15 feet of floor space. Just use these black bracket boxes that I made to conceal the rolled up parts of the scroll. In doing this, I invite the exhibitors to play a creative role in the cropping of the scroll by choosing the section that they want to show. Plus, the cropping can easily be changed at whim by simply unrolling and revealing a new section and then covering up the roll with the black bracket box. Thus, one scroll can be made to reveal an almost infinite number of possible exhibition faces. But let's say that you have an unlimited amount of space, indoors or outdoors, to accommodate something monstrously long. Then I might interest you in exhibiting one of my pattern runners. My pattern runners are even longer than the great pattern scrolls, but they're not as complex or wide. Like the scrolls, they're made from hand-trimmed and taped together individual pieces of paper. Now, I designed my pattern runners to go the distance, literally, as you can see. I like the way the syncopated visual rhythms of my patterns dance along the great lengths of the runners. To my eye, there's something whimsical and lighthearted about them. But what do I know? I'm just a meshuggener.